On that note, a pleasure to speak with Marvin Kitman, longtime media watcher at Newsday, most recently Huffington Post, and more to the point, author of the definitive O'Reilly biography, The Man Who Would Not Shut Up. Marvin, good evening.
Good evening. What a vicious attack on Bill.
Thank you. As funny as all this is,
wow,
there's a couple of serious points here. I mean, plenty of reporters have had physical altercations at political events. Dan Rather at the Democratic Convention in '68 in Chicago comes to mind, but not many of them start the physical stuff. What was going on there?
Well, what you don't understand, Keith, is that O'Reilly is an egomaniac. And he's a very tall egomaniac, and as a matter of fact, he's going to be in the Thanksgiving Day parade as one of those floats. Now, you have to realize also that there are many journalists who are egomaniacs.
Like 100% or so.
Yeah, I might even say that you can possibly be classified that way.
Like 100% or so.
Hey, but what is unique about O'Reilly as a journalist is that, and this is his egomania, he has to be the center of the story. The story gets pushed to the wayside, and what you've been showing here is a classic example of that in action. And also, you don't realize that you should be asking, what was Bill doing out there, with the peasants in the first place? Now, that was very...
what was... I mean, was he showing up not to stalk not just Obama, but earlier in the day, Hillary, who then, played him like a $3 banjo? I mean, what is this? Scoop newsboy gets the story?
You don't understand that Bill thinks that he's an investigative reporter, not just a loudmouth opinionator like many people think. So he was out there getting the story. Now, you have to know that his cultural hero is Clint Eastwood, and all his life he's modeled himself after Clint and Dirty Harry. Bill is the Dirty Harry of journalism. So what he was doing there is going out and sauntering in and expecting everything to make way for him. And his other role model is Mike Wallace. Now, Mike Wallace was famous for his ambush interviews, and he used to hide behind a potted palm. Now, Bill is too big for a potted palm, and he can't hide. So he does the frontal ambush, and that's what we were seeing. Now, I was wondering why he would possibly think he could get an interview with Obama right out in the open there. Because, the politicians like to make little speeches, and what Obama could have only said was, it's time for a change, Bill. Good night. And but I would suspect that he had trouble getting Obama to sit down for an interview.
Yeah, well, he's mentioned this several times. But one other thing about this, half of the things in your book that O'Reilly told you about his childhood seem to be phrases like, and my father smacked me, and the nuns hit me, and the guy hit me. Is this ultimately a pathologically violent guy?
I would think not. Now, I had 29 interviews, and he never once took a swing at me, and that was a sure sign. But he is a very tall guy, and he's very physical, and he likes to play football and everything. He still plays touch football. But the thing is that his main weapon is his mouth. And he has an Achilles mouth, as you're seeing more and more. Yeah. He's getting into a lot of trouble.
And he's played too many games of football without a helmet over his mouth.
Without a helmet, yes.
Marvin Kitman, the author of The Man Who Would Not Shut Up. It's still the definitive book on the subject. Thank you, Marvin.
And it's coming out in paperback in the fall.
Congratulations. That's countdown for this, the 1,713th day since the declaration of mission accomplished in Iraq.